Morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards with a new video for you today. Today I'm using the stamp set All Things Fabulous for these flowers. It's a this one's actually 3-step stamping. This one for the thank you I used Timeless Tropical and this little thank you. And then for the label I used the Hippo and Friends dies, this one right here. And then for the center one, I used the circle dies, layering circles, and I used the second to the smallest on that. So let's get started on this card. I wanted to show you something on these stamps. There's little numbers, and you probably can't see them on the camera, but they're like right here. Little numbers, and so you match up your flowers. So this one's 1A, 1B, and 1C, and then there's a little caret sign, an arrow pointing up, and you want to match your flowers on your block so that little arrow is pointing up, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here, right there, and it should be one on each flower piece. So this flower I've done in yellows and greens, and then at the end of the video I'll show you the other flowers, the other card I made with pink on the Magenta Madness color. But this one is 3 different colors of yellow. I used So Saffron for the lightest, then I used Daffodil Delight, and then the darkest one is Crushed Curry, and the leaves are in Granny Apple Green. The card base is So Saffron, 8.5 by 11, or yeah, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's early in the morning. This is Granny Apple Green, and it is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then the Whisper White is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and that's what I used on the inside. So let's get started on this card, and we'll start by doing the flowers on the front of this card. I'll show you how I did them, and then I'll explain how I did the pink version when I show that one to you. So, we're going to take our, always use some kind of a foam mat in the back or underneath your acrylic stamps, or photopolymer, I guess these are. So first you do the yellow flowers and the So Saffron, and I just started stamping them on there kind of as randomly as I could without leaving a bunch of empty space. And it doesn't really matter, you just need to get them on there. However looks good to you, leaving some room for your leaves. Okay, so that's that color. Then you take your next layer, and this is the Daffodil Delight with the next layer, and you just, I'm going to stand up to do this. You kind of line them up so that they're kind of pointing in the same direction. The point. So, and these don't have to be perfect. Once you do this, And you're going to do your third layer. It's kind of an odd angle, so I'm not sure exactly where that goes. Okay. Okay, now you do the crushed curry. And just stamp those on there. Very dark. Once it dries, then you get this look over here. Okay. Once you do all of that, then you take your Granny Apple Green for your leaves, and I just used there's 3 different leaves on here, and I just used the one with the 2, and just started putting leaves on here. Just to fill up this white space. So what you're doing is basically making your own DSP. So you can put as many or as few of the leaves as you want on here. Oops. Just to kind of fill up the space. Let's put one right here. Here. Maybe one in this corner. This flower needs one. Put something here. Maybe one right there. That looks good. Okay. So let's set this aside. And I like to clean my stamps. I don't like leaving them dirty. Okay. Now you take this piece and you start assembling your card. So we're going to take the Granny Apple piece, and I cut the label out of the center of this, and I'm just going to adhere these together like so. Just like this. Okay. Of course, you don't want to get it in the center of your... We'll just clean this up so everything doesn't stick to it. This nice eraser erases glue. I don't even know where I got this. It's a high polymer eraser, and it'll erase the glue off of your paper. Pretty nice. Okay. Once you do that, kind of let that glue dry. Let's set that aside, and let's glue this together. Okay. And this, you kind of want to make sure that your thank you is in the center of your label, of your die cut and even, or straight across, if at all possible. It's different than just putting two circles together. Okay? And once you do that, then we're going to take glue dots, or not glue dots, Stampin' Dimensionals, put it on the back. So this piece will be ready. I just put 4 on there. I felt like that was enough. It's stuck on there good. There. Very strange. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to take our ribbon, and I used the crinkled seam binding ribbon, the white, tied it into a bow around something, and then decided where I wanted it on here. Let's glue this on first. This piece of paper down here. This piece of Granny Apple Green is 1/2 inch, and it's a little bit longer. We're just going to trim it, but you want it the same width as your mat. So we're going to glue that on the front, and this you can put anywhere on the front of the card that looks good to you. I'm just going to put it towards the bottom, right about here. You just want to make sure it's straight. Across there, you don't want it at an angle. That looks good. And we're going to trim this edge off here. Like so. Okay. You're going to take your bow and you're going to decide, do you want it off to the side? Do you want it in the center? Where do you want it? This one I centered, but I think I'll do that with this one too. I'll just cut this right here. Then I put a glue dot behind the bow. And then we're just going to lay that across the front of the card here, right? I'm going to put it in the center. It's like that. But you don't have to center it. You can put it on the side. It's just where I put it. And you're going to take your little ends very carefully, and you're going to tape them to the back. Just like so. Right across the center of that Granny Apple Green strip. Okay? And kind of straighten your bow a little bit. Okay? And then this piece, we'll put it on last. Okay, then we're going to take our card base, and we're going to just glue that to the front. Try and remember when you're putting this on here not to put glue here. You're going to glue it to your work surface, like I almost did. Okay. Put that on the front, just like so. Put the lid on that. And then we're going to take our sentiment piece. And I am going to put it in the center on this one. I think I'll put it to the side again. Just want to make sure that it's not crooked. Okay, like so. Okay, now the front's done. I have the inside ready, and I took some more of the flowers, and this time I used these three right here. So I stamped it the same way with So Saffron, Daffodil Delight, and then crushed curry. And then I put a couple of leaves. And then I used the sentiment that's in here. You make the flowers smell sweeter and the sun shine brighter. And this is for the inside. And then we just have one more thing to do to this card. I wanted to tell you that during the month of July, from July 1st to August 3rd, I believe, with every $50 purchase on my website, Stampin' Up! Is giving you $5 Stampin', or a coupon for $5 that you can spend starting August the 4th. I'm pretty sure those are the dates. I'll make sure that it's in my written down below the video so you have the exact dates. Anyway, you can spend as much as you want, get as many coupons as you want, and then you spend them in between August 4th and 31st. Okay, the last thing we're going to do to this card is put these glitter dots on there. And I put one large one down here to balance out this sentiment because it looks crooked, but and then I used these and put here, and then I used a tiny one on there too. I felt like that sentiment needed, come on, there, needed some embellishment. So that's what I did with that. And that's your card. Very simple card, no DSP required. And the other version that I have this is going to be on the Blog Hop, and this is Magenta Madness, and I only used just the Magenta Madness ink for the flowers by stamping off this ink pad. And then the Magenta Madness ribbon and the in color enamel dots, and then the green is the Old Olive. And so what you do with this one is you stamp off twice, then stamp your first flower, and then stamp off once to stamp the next piece, and then this one's full strength. Sorry, can't see. And that's how I got this card. And then the inside is using some different sentiments. I used, on this one I used Inspiring Iris, and then the thanks, and then You Are Somebody Who Makes Everybody Feel Like Somebody. And so that's what I used for this card. So if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, you can sign up on my website, just elainescustomcards.stampinup.net, or you can get there from my blog, and the blog link is underneath this video. If you want to just be a customer, you can go there. I have a host code. If you purchase $50 on my website, I'm giving away a package of the clear rhinestones with a $50 purchase. And remember, every $50 you purchase, you get a coupon for $5. So you have a blessed day and have fun stamping.